At this point, I'll recognize myself and start out, General Spillman, by just associating myself with the comments of Senator Rounds regarding the surplus water rule, the definition of surplus water. For the life of me, how we can even have something like this is beyond me. But nonetheless, we look forward to the new rule and the definition, and just know that I support what Mike was saying. I also would say, you know, Secretary James, one of the things I noticed about moving from the House to the Senate is it's much easier to get a secretary to come to your office. But I have to say on your behalf that you came to my house, my office when I was a House member too. So I appreciate your responsiveness and your attention, and that means a lot. With that in mind, I very much appreciate the recent visit, and we have a number of issues. And I just want to address one of them with you here in this forum, because I think a little bit of progress has been made since you and I visited. And that's with regard to Select Energy's application for increased flows and volumes out of Lake Sakakawea, the Missouri River system, for use in fracking. As I stated then, you know, these applications have been pending for 2 years, since May of 2017. They sort of got lost in the shuffle somehow, got caught up in an order to consider them at a different level, and including Washington, D.C. Just to put some context around it for everybody, Lake Sakakawea, of course, a large reservoir on the Missouri system. It's usually got too much water, and of course, right now, it's not only does it have a lot of water, there's a lot still coming, and probably the worst yet to come. These requests are well under the state of North Dakota's allocations. They're well under even the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers' additional 100,000 acre-feet decision that came out of an environmental assessment in 2012. Their existing permits, they're just asking for greater volumes. It should not be a complicated matter. It's been 2 years since you and I talked. Our staffs have been talking, and evidently there's an agreement that it should be settled within 30 days. My only question to you is, in this hearing, is would you commit to that, to getting that resolved in the next 30 days?
Sir, I reserve not committing to it getting solved, but I will commit to making every effort in my office I can to get it resolved. You know, if it's been going on 2 years, there must be some kind of reason, and I don't want to tell you something that I can't come through on.
Well, I appreciate that, but the reason clearly isn't a lack of water in the Missouri River system. And these are people who have committed that if it ever gets to a drought stage, that they would no longer take the water. In other words, the private sector has agreed to terms that should never be a problem. And you know, this little bit of water, it's hard to describe how quickly water goes into the system versus goes out. And if you couldn't come up with a number large enough for it to make a difference to the people being flooded downstream from us. So I know deadlines are very difficult for the Corps. We all know deadlines are very difficult for the Corps. They're difficult for most of federal government, but the Corps has really written the book on not meeting deadlines and commitments. And what's at stake here is human safety. That water will move throughout North Dakota, and still does, in trucks, on highways and bridges. That water, you know, that water will move, just not in as efficient or as safe a manner as it can if we use the existing pipeline infrastructure. The other thing that's at stake is America's national security. And I find it ironic that the Army itself has stonewalled American energy security, because I would much rather use the peaceful tools of energy development than the weapons of war in an energy fight. So I appreciate your commitment to do everything you can. I'll call you in 30 days, and let's hope that, you know, that you're successful in your outcome.
I hope I'll have it to you in 10, but I can't promise it.
All right. Thank you.